everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex, and welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator. We haven't played this game in a really long time, and there have been a lot of new DLCs added to this game. I kept meaning to cover them, and then things just happened, and I just never got round to doing it. I'm going to skip a couple, maybe. Maybe I'll go back. There's like a DeLorean one that we might check out for one video. There was also, I think I touched on the Bentley one. I think there was another one as well. But there was also this one. Now, this is the Total Modifications DLC. And it basically added loads of different versions of cars that were already in the game, but in high-performance versions. So this is the standard Salem Flamo, I think it's called. The Salem Flamo, whatever. Well, they now have the V8 version, and there's a bunch of other cars. There's like a Monster Truck Piccolo, which is like a Fiat Panda with monster truck wheels, all that sort of stuff. So I thought what I'd do today is, this is quite an interesting car for me. I'm curious about these sort of like old, but sort of, what would you call this? Like an economy car, like a cheap car that's old. I'm just always fascinated about this sort of stuff. So I like this car kind of. And that's why I thought we would do a massive test today. I've rebuilt all the engine in here. I've just done this before starting the episode because I didn't really need to film that. And I'm going to do a run on this one on the dyno, see what we get. I'm going to do a quarter-mile run on this. Then we're going to tune it up, stick some nice wheels on it, see what time we get. And then we're going to head over to this one. Then I'm going to modify the engine of this one. You can actually, let's get a swap engine. We'll test out this first engine, then we move over to the proper Supercharged. And just see the sort of power differences we can get between this in stock form, then a little bit tuned form, then this in the lower engine form, then probably tuned with some tyres, and then the sort of full whack, all-out new engine. Then I'm going to pull that engine apart and modify it as much as possible. Put as much modifying bits on, like change the pistons and the fuel rails, whatever I can change, whatever I can modify. We're going to be doing that. So it's probably going to be quite a long video, but I will sort of give you a little prize if you can get all the way through this video, because I do actually have a code for this DLC to give away for one lucky person. All you have to do is use Twitter, because I'm not going to be doing anything on YouTube with this one. This is going to be a Twitter giveaway. So what you have to do is you have to be following me on Twitter, and then you have to use the hashtag, which is going to be planted randomly in this episode. So keep a lookout as you're watching. There'll be a hashtag that will come on the screen, and I want you to, once you follow me on Twitter, there's my link for my Twitter's in the description below. You can tweet at me with that hashtag, and you will be entered for a chance to win, and then in around a week's time, I will announce a winner, and I will DM you, make sure that your DMs are sort of enabled, and I will send you the code. Right, so actually before we get started, comments on the screen. Comments and questions featured from the previous video. If you would like your comments and questions featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. You can also follow me on Twitter at Figureight. Links for my Twitter, as I've said, are in the description below. Right, let's actually just jump in and get started. So, let's start off with this. This is all done. Although everything's rusty on the outside, and if you actually look, everything's rusty on the running gear, it doesn't really affect the way it drives, or from what I understand. So all we need to do is make sure that the engine is good and we can at least drive it and do all the test runs. We don't have to have a full rebuild. So let's chuck this into the dyno first of all, and let's see what power we get in its standard form. So let's do a test run. Let's see what we're going to get. That's actually higher than I thought. That's over 100. Okay, 110 horsepower. That is higher than I thought. I thought for this car, because this is like an old four-banger in this old car, you'd think it would be like 70 or something like that. But 110? That's pretty fair. So let's go to the carburetor tuning. Actually, should we go and do a test run on the thing before we do this? Okay, let's do that. I'm going to probably do so many different runs on this. This is why it's going to be such a long video. Okay, here we go. I haven't done this in a while, so this might not go perfectly. So that's gear up, gear down. Okay. Here we go. I thought I was in neutral. Okay, that was a terrible start. We might have to do 2 runs of this. This was my first. This is a freebie run, just so I can get my bearings. Where does it go? Okay, just before 6,000 RPM is our top. Well, that was a terrible 0 to 100. That's kilometers, by the way, so that's just under 0 to 60. Actually, that's 0 to 62, isn't it? Changing the fourth. So we've got a 19-second quarter mile, almost 20 seconds. Obviously, I think we can get better with a better run. And there we go, across the line, 35 seconds, almost 36. Right, let's restart that run. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try and be gentle. That should be fine. And up a gear. I don't want to make sure that we hit the rev limiter because I don't want to sort of lose any speed. So now, that should be fine. What have we got? We've got a 12-second, 8th. Oh, God, this is slow. 14-second, 0 to 100. Is that slower than before? 18.8, so it's only slightly faster now that I'm doing this properly. Probably could get a bit quicker than that, but we're not going to spend loads of time on this. I think that quarter mile of 18.8 is what we've got to beat. And that 14.1, 0 to 100. Right, let's jump back to the garage then and do a tune-up and change the tyres and do another run. Right, okay, back on the dyno, and I should point out that we could make this even faster still because we can tune up this engine, but I'm not going to go that deep into it. So let's go to the carburetor tuning, and hopefully I can remember how this all sort of, is it like that, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that. I think this is how I do it. That's, oh, no! Ah, made a penis. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I have managed to get a 10 though. So maybe if we just go plus each side. Oh no, we're going to go negative each side. 18. Right, there we go. Set carburetor and do the test run. So 110 has gone to 130. So 20 horsepower from the carburetor tuning. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can beat that. Let's try and get into the 17s. On the quarter mile. Okay, here we go. And I did actually forget to change the tyres, so we're going to have to do another run after this as well. Or maybe we'll just leave it here and just, you know, just take it as what it is. So here we go. That's going to be 11 seconds, or almost 12 seconds for the 0 to 100, so that's definitely a lot quicker. 17.8, so we have shaved off like 0.4, I think. Of a second on that quarter mile, so it's a nice change. We definitely probably could get more with the better tyres, but I think this might be the end for this car because it's so much back and forth. There we go. So this car, in its standard form, standard tyres with a tune, we can get it to 17.8 seconds on the quarter mile. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick that on the right lifter just so it's out of the way. I reckon if we were to get this all tuned up and have all the wheels changed, I reckon we probably could get into the 15 seconds maybe. I reckon that might be top speed for this. I don't think it's going to get wildly faster. So let's move on to this. Now I'm going to be a little bit cheaty here. If I go to swap engine, instead of taking this all apart and rebuilding it, if we just click here and pay for the swap, we are given a brand new spanking engine, or brand spanking new engine. Look at that, gleaming, shiny, and beautiful. And that's the gearbox as well. That doesn't include the drive shafts or anything like that. However, that should be enough for us to go out on a little jaunt. Let's see if this works in the dyno. Okay, here we are. So this is the base spec engine on this upgraded car. Let's go for a test run. And instantly, so much faster. It already actually told us the power that we should expect from that page that we had where we selected the engine. We've got 216 horsepower. That's pretty good. Let's see what sort of 0 to 60, well 0 to 100 and quarter mile times we can get. Just this. No even putting the doors on. No changing anything. I'm missing body panels. We're actually going to try and rebuild the exterior of this car as well in a minute, I think, just so it looks nice and pretty. Because you can change the wheels and stuff. Because look at this. It's even got the big massive drag radials on the back. Which is so cool. Right, so let's just leave it like this. And then jump in and see what sort of quarter mile times we can get. Okay, here we go. Oh, it sounds so much nicer. And of course, this does have drag radials on. So it's instantly going to have much better grip than before. Oh, look at that. 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. That is amazingly fast compared to the old one. Quarter mile time, 13.3. Just in that standard engine. That is already beautifully fast. That is a really respectable time. I did leave that fourth gear a bit long though, but we have got a 25 second for the 1000 meter Wow, that was surprisingly good. So this makes me wonder, just by doing the carburetor tuning, that we might even be able to break into the 12s. This is before we've even considered that there is actually a faster version of this engine, and then there's the super fast supercharged engine, which can then be tuned. Oh, there is so much possibility with this. This might be one hell of a quick car once it's all done. So let's just try and get this all balanced out. Let's see what we can do. So I want to go... Oh god, how do I make this all level? Oh, managed to get to 16 straight away. That means I can go straight to 18. Oh, I'm getting much better at this. I'm getting my feel back. Set carburetor. Go for a test run. So we had 216 last time, I think it was, as I remember. We now have 255. I reckon that we can get into the 12-second quarter mile. Okay, here we go. And ooh, little bit of spin, but we're doing good. What is that? It's a 4.9 second 0 to 100. That's 0 to 62 miles an hour. And we're going to get... Oh, it's a 12-seconder. 12.8 second quarter mile. Can we get under 20 seconds for the 1 kilometer? No. Okay, we're going to get a 23.8. I wonder if we can actually break the 20-second barrier for the 1 kilometer run. But that 12.8 on this standard low spec engine on this car is it's setting a fantastic precedent for what is to come, because maybe, I don't know, how much faster can we get? We can get like under 10 seconds. Definitely under 10 seconds I reckon is doable. Right, so I guess it's time to upgrade to the V8 2-carb overhead cam supercharged. So we also had the 2-carb version of that one, which was instantly going to be a lot faster as well. But I just want to go straight up to the big dog. And here we are. Look at that beautiful, shiny, gleaming engine. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I actually want to change a few bits before we get any further. Just get rid of that radiator. And I'm going to chuck this up on the ramp. Let's chuck that up on the lifter. I'm going to get rid of all of the body panels. And I'm going to get rid of the wheels. And I'm just going to make it look a little bit pretty before we go on our next run. Because why not? Let's take off all the fenders. The doors. We definitely need to buy doors as well. Because... There wasn't one on that side at all. And in fact, there's no lights, no bumpers, no nothing on the rear either. And let's take off all of these rims. So, back in my earlier videos of this game, there was actually a point where you couldn't change the rims. Like, it had to be the same rim that you took off, had to go back again. Now it's not the case. Now you can put on any wheel you want, which is great because that's going to give us a lot of choice. But I do like these wheels in their standard form. But I reckon we can go for different wheels on the front than the back, which is going to look really nice because we've got these big massive drag radials on the back as well. There we go. Let's take all of that off. And also there is that thing somewhere. Is it this thing? Body repair. We can go to that. 2000, and that should get rid of all of the rust on the outside. Look at that. Already looking gleaming and beautiful. So let's just go ahead and go to our tablet. And let's go to the tuner's shop. I wonder if there is actually anything for the Flammo. Ooh, there is. Okay, so there's hood A, which is great because that's going to be useful for our engine. There's also different types of headlight as well. Let's go for this front bumper A. Is that the only type? Okay, so let's go for front bumper A. Front bumper, rear bumper A. Hang on, wasn't there a different one? Let's go to the body part and look through here. Because I think actually these stock ones are chrome. Yeah, they are. Now, I prefer the chrome, to be honest with you. I think the chrome looks better, so I'm actually going to go for chrome on that. And then that's what the front headlights and rear tail lights look like. Let's see if we just go back to the tuner's shop. Let's see how they change. I don't like this double light thing, but I reckon that one could be okay. So let's go for some of that and some of that. And then we'll also go for this tail light B on both sides. And I think that's going to look great. So let's just go ahead. Oh, yeah, we need to put the fenders on as well. We need to fix those up, don't we? And the right fender, left door, right fender, left door. That's all repaired. That's nice. And the wheels I'm actually just going to bin, really, because I think we're going to change all those up. So let's just go ahead and... Oh, that one's definitely gone. But this one, there we go. That one's nice and repaired. That one we didn't actually have a door for at all. But that door works. So we need to get a left fender. Let's just go back and go to the stock body parts. We want to get a left fender and right door. think that's everything. Oh, and a boot lid. Because we don't have a boot lid. There we go. There's the boot lid there. So, put that fender on. We can put the boot lid on, or the trunk. And then we can put on our different tail lights. Looking pretty nice. How do they change from the original, actually? Let's try and find an original. Ah, okay. Right, let's actually just get a nice comparison between the two of these. So there we go. There's the two different types. I like that one. That's very 80s. I'm not really that big on that little reverse light in the middle there. So let's just take that off and put that new one on. That's looking nice. It looks very Fordy, actually. Like, I'm pretty sure Escorts had lights very similar to that. It does look very much like a Ford, or actually most cars in the 80s, to be quite honest with you. Right, so then we can put our right door on. Then it's just a case of putting on the bumpers, which I can't actually see how we can put on. There's like no selection for bumper at all. Why is that a thing? I wonder if maybe there's a bug here, because I can't actually go to assemble mode and put on any lights, bonnet, or bumper. That's weird. What happens if I just jack this up just so we can see this better? Maybe it's like not clicking. There we go. Look, we go to assemble mode, and it just won't show. How weird. So I guess maybe this is just bumperless? Maybe that's it. Maybe this one just has no bumper and no hood, which is kind of weird. Right, so let's actually just pick some wheels for this and respray it and move on so we can actually tune this thing up. What should we go for? It's an old car, so we don't want to go for anything too modern looking. I mean, that says Rim Classic, but that looks very modern and horrible. Maybe something racy. See, we can go for the DeLorean wheels as well. They all work. Oh, maybe the retro ones. Nice deep dish. Or maybe Retro 8's pretty nice. Retro 7's nice. Same as Retro 10. I'm going to go for Retro 10. Like that. Or maybe, should we go for those on the front and Retro 10 on the back? How's that going to look? Right, so we're going to put the nice retro ones on the front, because that's the nice small wheel. Isn't that how it works in drag racing? They always have like the nice wheel like that on the front. Actually, if you had like a real proper dragster, it's like wire wheels or something like that. But maybe this will look okay. We'll see. And then our big steely ones. Yeah, I think that can work. They look a bit utilitarian, and then the front ones are sort of like the nice ones. I think that works. I think that looks amazing. I'm sure some of you may disagree, but I quite like that, so I'm going to stick with that. Right, so I'm going to have to assume that these bumpers and stuff won't work, so I'm just going to go ahead. It's a shame, because I really wanted to put those lights on. Mind you, I guess we could just do it to the front of this one instead. There we go. Look, it works on this one. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe it's just... See, there we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. And then we could have taken those off. We could have put the color-coded ones on. Ugh, that looks so much worse than just having the chrome ones on. Right, I'm going to go ahead and sell all that stuff then. But we do need to fix that radiator before we go any further. There we go. There's a new radiator bought. Stick that in just because, well, it's nice to have everything all nice and clean. So we might actually change the brake servo as well. What's the battery like? Is that going to be 100%? 10%. We could definitely change that. And then everything plonked back in. Looking nice, neat, and lovely. I mean, we've definitely got some horrible rust showing all the way down there because this stuff is ruined. But generally, that looks fine. Although we can definitely change that exhaust, I think. There we go. 2 new rear mufflers. They're not going to change the performance or anything. I just want to make it look nice for this bit at least. So let's just bung those on. There we go. And that is looking rather gorgeous, but we can definitely change the colour. Right, I'm feeling a nice dark red going on. So let's go for this red. Let's knock that dark down a bit. Nice classic colour. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I'm going to go for that. Something nice, different, bright, clean. Ah, that's lovely. I just wish that we could put the bonnet and the bumpers and the lights on. Because it looks so weird that we can't have that on. However, let's go and see what it's like on the dyno and do some more drag runs because we've had too much time spent in here. Right, here we go. Initial test run. And already, look at those numbers flying up. 456 horsepower. That is just incredible. Actually, I want to see what the RPM was when that power maxed out as well. Let's go for another test run. And it maxes out at around like 4, almost just under 5. This makes me think that if I was to change at just under 5,000 RPM, we would have like a better acceleration or anything like that. So I'm actually going to test that out right now. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to do the usual like up to 6,000 RPM thing first. And that was actually just over 6,000. Ooh, oh, okay, we really have to make sure that we change quick on that first because that just bounces off the limiter. But look at these times that we're getting. That is just, oh, it's 11.6. That's actually not that much difference from the modified or the tuned up 12 seconds that we got in the slower engine. And then we get 21. We can definitely beat that 20 seconds 1 kilometer. But that's 3.9 seconds 0 to 60 as well. That's fantastic. Let's see if I can try and get that better by changing gear earlier on, just as a test. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to have a soft start. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, that might not work. I think that's going to be a lot slower. And we're definitely going way too far off to the right. Actually, 11.6, isn't that faster? Or is that about the same? 3.9? I think that's almost the same. 20.8. I think that's almost the same, if not slightly faster. Well, I don't know. Let's go back and tune this thing up anyway, just to see what else we can get on the standard version of this engine. Okay, right. Let's see if we can get this all sorted out. So there's 14. There's 16. There's 18. I'm a pro at getting this down right now. Set carburetor. Test run. So we had, what was it, 456 horsepower? Oh, look at that, 538. No tuning parts yet. Remember, it goes higher. Okay, here we go. Oh, I love that rocking when you rev it up as well. Bit of silence, I'm just trying to concentrate on that. The times are almost the same as before. 11.1, slightly faster. But we definitely had a rocky start there. I will admit to that. But I think these aren't actually the best tyres either, because I think they now have like the Drag Slick Pros. So we're going to have to put those on at the end, but I won't do that now. Let's go ahead and tune this thing up. Right, so this engine that we're using is the V8 2-carb overhead cam Supercharged. So if we head over to here, we have in the performance shop a huge selection of stuff. And as you can see, all of them have different percentages of increasing of horsepower. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and buy what I think is everything we will need. And then I'm going to pull this engine apart, put it all back, and go on from there. So actually, I'm going to, through the power of editing, going to jump to the part where I have all the parts I need. Right, so I've definitely overbought. I've definitely bought probably more things than I need because I've bought a random selection. So now, let's go over to the left lift. And I guess we're going to just tear it all apart. In fact, first of all, I'm going to test out all the exhaust to see if I've got all of this right. So we need to take off this bit of exhaust. This bit, what have we got? What's this called down here? Middle muffler. I definitely bought at least one of those, I think. Front exhaust pipe. I think I bought those. Soon find out. So let's see. Front exhaust pipe. Yes, I did. Optional part. There we go. Nice. And I only bought one, though. We definitely need to buy more of those. Right, there's the other part. And then we have the middle muffler. And I think I only bought one of those as well. Yeah, there we go. Optional part. And optional part. I definitely bought 2 of those. So that's the exhaust and everything done. Next up, whilst we're under here, I guess we need to pull the drive shaft off. Let's just see. 77. 100%. Nice. Easy repair. No need to spend money. I love it when I get that stuff repaired because it saves me having to go for ages looking through the shop to try and find the parts. Right, so let's take that starter off. Here we go. Take the gearbox off. Then clutch release bearing, clutch pressure plate, and all the clutch stuff and the flywheel. And then we can put all that back on because we definitely got all of that done. Or maybe we'll keep it off because I think we might have to change the... In fact, the crankshaft I don't think we change. Okay, there's no crankshafts on the performance parts, so we don't need to worry about that. So we can go ahead and just stick the gearbox in. Okay, so that's the nice flywheel. That's the nice clutch plate. That's the nice clutch pressure plate. Good. We're getting there slowly. So here we are. Air scoop. Let's take that out. Oh, that's so cool. Scoop air filter. I did not see that on there. There are no scoop air filters, which means that that is not anything that can be tuned. However, those carburetors can. Hang on. How do we take those off? There we go. So I can replace these, but we'll have to do that at the end. And surprisingly, we can't change the supercharger. I did notice that there was turbos that we could buy, but nothing for the supercharger. So I guess we just have to keep that as it is. So let's take all of these belts and all of these pulleys off. So many belts and pulleys on this thing. Right, that's that whole front side pretty much done. We can take the water pump off as well. I don't know if we need to take that off, but I'm just going to rip absolutely everything off just in case. But I think really it's easier to just take everything off and then just have to put it back at the end rather than spending time thinking, well, do I need to take this off? And then looking around, it's just take the damn thing off. Especially because when you're playing this game in non-sandbox mode, the experience does go up each time you change a part, so it's always worth it anyway. And speaking of sandbox mode, those of you that have watched my car mechanic videos in the past may have noticed that I've always had a super high account balance and a super high experience number. And that's been because I have had access to... How do we what am I missing? Oh, there we go. It's a bloody clip again. Yeah, I have had access to a special, like, dev cheat code that allowed me to have the sandbox mode months in advance. But now, if you have the total modifications thing, you can actually make a new profile and get sandbox mode, which is essentially the exact same thing. So if you want to get that, that's how you do it. You have to get this DLC, and then once you have that... You will then... Oh, look at all this we're going to do on each side. Yeah, once you have that, then you'll be able to have the same sandbox mode that I've been using. Which is so much better. It's so much more fun just building the cars like this than having to, you know, go through the whole thing. Maybe some of you are actually into playing the proper game, which is totally fine. But if you just want to play around, it's also great that that's there. Because this actually reminds me of, currently what I'm thinking about is Need for Speed. The latest Need for Speed game, I have not really felt like I wanted to play. I played it for like 10 hours, I'd say. And then I thought, like, do you know what? It's getting a bit grindy. It's just the same races and drifting over and over again, which I make more and more money, and I slowly get more XP, which slowly unlocks new parts of my car, and it's... Yeah, it's great. Interesting. It would be nice if that game had some sort of mode, cheat code, or something that just let us modify the cars. I just wanted to make cool-looking cars, but the races are really boring, and I can't be bothered. So, for those of you who have been wondering why I never did Need for Speed videos, that's why. And if you're wondering how I've been able to do these videos, this is why. Because the sandbox mode has definitely saved my ass. Because I don't think if that sandbox mode was there, I would have done videos on this. Because as much as I like this game, this is a really time-consuming game. There's a lot of work that goes into this. Because this video is really long, and we haven't really done much. There is a lot of time that could be spent in this game. And so to get to this part where I'm buying all these cars and tuning all this stuff, my god, you would have to play a lot of hours of this game. Right, slowly making our way through, taking all the heads off. This is definitely the slowest part of doing this, especially as it's a V8. So much easier when it's a 4-banger. There we go, now we can take all the pistons out. And I don't think we can change the block, so I think this is as far down as we're going to be going. Mind you, there is actually the camshaft as well. Okay, camshaft, and that's it. That's as far as we need to go. So now... we can start building it up. I just bought loads of each, so there we go. Then we can put the cam gears on, all that sort of stuff. Timing chain can go back on. Timing cover. We didn't need to change any of that, really. There we go. There's the water pump, and then there's the supercharger pulley. Actually, did we have any pulleys in that thing? Let's just check it. No, okay, there was none of those. We didn't have to worry about that. But we did have this ignition distributor. I'm pretty sure that we need to buy one of those. Aha, there we go. That's what I was missing. Good thing that I remembered that, otherwise we'd have put back in and I'd have had no idea. And the rotor as well, I'm pretty sure. Right, then we can put in our nice... In fact, let's just get rid of those old pistons first of all. Right, so now we should have... There we go, just the optional parts, the nice black pistons. Lovely jubbly. How much percentage did each one of those add? Oh, it doesn't say. Hang on, let's just have a look. 1.1%. But there we go, we have 8 of them. So this is really just dragging up the power. I mean, what it had 500 and something when it was last checked. This is really going to be amazing once it's all done. Engine head, V8. Have we got any one of those? Yep, we do have optional part of that. Oh, look at that. That looks really nice with the red as well. This is going to be a beautiful engine once it's all done. I mean, that rusty bit that down there looks so horrible, but I'm not going to touch it. Then we have the exhaust manifold on that side. Nice and shiny and beautiful. Then the same on the other side. And then we could do the spark plugs and stuff as well. I am so curious just how powerful this thing is going to be. There we go. Let's sell all these old spark plugs as well so I can see what we're doing here. It's all coming together now. Then we've got all the valve push rods. Just double check that we don't need any of that. Nope, nothing for that either. So we can bungle those in. There we go. There's those two sides done. Then we have the rocker arms. Just double check, just to make sure. No rocker arms. Brilliant. We can put all those on then. See, this is the slow one because each one of those has a screw as well. There we go. One on, screw. One on, screw. Oh, God. And then the final one. Whew. There we go. Then we have the head covers, which just want to check. Head cover B. Nothing in the way of head covers, just the heads. So we can go ahead and just stick that back on then. I've definitely done this in a little bit of a weird order, but it's fine. Let's just go ahead and put the ignition wires on. There's the optional part. And then the fuel filter, which is an optional part as well. Water pump, we've already put that on. Power steering pump, optional part. Then we have the crankshaft pulley, which again is, we have no optional part for that one, so that's fine. Alternator, optional part, nice and shiny. We should have the starter motor around here somewhere as well. There we go, there's the starter. Oh, we have to do it from underneath the car on that one. Okay, forgot about that. Supercharger is on. And then the lovely 4-barrel carburetors. Look at those, lovely and shiny. And then the air filters, and then the scoop on top. Right, let's just go ahead and put that starter motor in. And that's that done. What else we got? These are all the engine heads. Exhaust pipe, flywheel, some extra pipes. I just bought way too much of everything. Fuel filter, fuel pump at the back. Let's just open up the boot. So we got the fuel tank, fuel pump, so we can take that out. Take the fuel tank out. Where was the fuel filter was at the front on that one, so we didn't need to worry about that. But let's just go ahead and fix the tank up. Oh, actually, we can't. Maybe we'll just have to buy a new one. So we could bung in our nice new tank, and then our optional fuel pump. And that's all that done. Then it's just a case of getting rid of all this stuff. Did we actually have the radiator to put in as well? Yep, we did. There's the radiator. And there was no radiator fan. Oh, wait, hang on. There was also the serpentine belt. We did forget stuff. That one as well. There we go. There's the radiator fan. I knew definitely forgot stuff. Right, power steering pump. And that's all that. And there was no throttle thing because whatever. That's all done. That is all done. However, we do need to put some oil into this baby. There we go. That should be enough. Let's just go ahead and check the oil levels as well whilst we're here. Dipstick. Lovely. In the middle. Nice, clean oil. I tell you, it's such a shame that we can't put the bonnet and stuff on. I'm really annoyed about that. Anyway, maybe it's a bug. Let's go to the dyno then. And let's see what has changed. In fact, actually, if we go to the carburetor tuning... Oh, it's already knocked out as well where we've re-put everything on, which is good. Right, let's see. Oh my god, 787 horsepower. Right, I'm going to do 3 different types of runs. I'm going to do a run now on the drag strip. Then we're going to go back and do the carburetor tuning and do a run. Then we're going to change the tyres and do a final run. And that should get us our final time for this. Right, let's jump into the drag strip. Right, here we are. Right, here we are. And go. Oh, 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 oh. That was really rough start, but oh my god, it really pulls once it's going. So we actually had a slower 0 to 100 there. But we are in the 10 seconds. Oh my god, we actually topped out. We can't go any faster. But we have got an under 20-second kilometer run. But that start was a bit iffy. Let's try and get a better start. Right, here we go. I'm not going to be so aggressive. I really don't know if that was better or not. But we did get a 3.6, so I guess that did work. 10.5. It's very similar up this top end, though. I think we're going to end up with a 19-second kilometer, just like we did before. Ooh, only just, though. That was slightly faster. So we've got a 3.6 second 0 to 60 and a 10.5 quarter mile. Let's see if we can't get this under 10 seconds. Right, so just to get a reminder of this power, 787 is what we've got to beat. So let's go to the carburetor tuning. Let's see. Let's just go down on that one, and then just keep going down until that's level. That's the basic trick. And then just knock that down 16. And then knock that down 18. Set carburetor. Test run. Oh, 869 horsepower. Right. Let's take this to the drag strip. Okay, here we go. Got to be careful with the start, though. Oh, I really don't like the start. Makes me think that maybe I should just start in second gear. I think actually we tried that in some past videos. Good God, this is fast. 10.3. It's still very, very similar. All these times are very similar. In fact, actually, wasn't it 7 seconds for the 8th mile previously? I think we did get slightly faster. Well, we had an 18.6 on the kilometre, so that is definitely faster. Let's do one more run, and I'm going to try and launch this in second gear. Right, here we go. Put it into second. Oh, I don't think that's any faster. Ooh. I really don't know. 10.3 is pretty much the same. Maybe it's going to be all down to just the tyres to get it better. 18.7 on that quarter mile, on the kilometre. Right, let's go back and do the final change with the tyres and do the final run. Right, she's on the lifter, so if we hit F2 and go to swap tyre, we have this large selection. Now I believe that we have slick tyre on, so we should now go to slick tyre plus. It doesn't look any different, which is how I really don't know what the actual tyre was that we had on. It says SF228. Did that actually change in number? No, it's the same. Would have been nice if they did change that though, so we don't know the difference. However, this is the best tyre we can get. So this is going to be the best time we're going to get. So let's just go ahead and do the final run. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to launch it in second gear straight away. That looks like a good launch. 3 seconds, not 100. Oh, I wasn't looking. I was looking in the top left and I wasn't watching the speedo. Oh my God, we might actually be able to get into the 10 seconds or the 9 second rather. Wow. 10.099 quarter mile. I was not looking at the speedometer. I was so excited about that 3 second 0 to 60 that I did mess up that 1 gear change. Okay, here we go. I'm going to be quiet and just concentrate. Yes, that's a 9.8. We've done it. 9.8 seconds. We have finally got under 10 seconds in one of these cars. 2.7 seconds 0 to 60. 6.5 second eighth. 9.8 second quarter. 18.1 for a kilometre. What a perfect end to this video, I think. So there we go. That is it. This is our car. Let's just go ahead. Hang on. How do I... Roll is F4 and hold. Oh, that's that. Okay. FOV. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. What a lovely picture right there. So there we go, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below if you would like to see me do more of this sort of stuff, because there are quite a few different types of cars that have this sort of like crazy tuning stuff with faster engines and stuff. If you would like to see another one of these with a different car from this DLC, let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget, if you did find that hashtag that was planted somewhere randomly in this video, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and then tweet at me with that hashtag. Anyone who's in the competition must be following me and must use that hashtag. I will search the hashtag list. If I pick you and you're following me, that's great. I'll DM you a code in about a week's time. So there we go, guys. That is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you guys all next time. Goodbye.